Hello, welcome to Rick's Tech Pub. Oh, dang it. It's Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday, January 2nd. These are already 2 days into the year already, and I haven't really gotten anything accomplished. So I hope you guys are all having a good day. Um, I got back around 1:30, about 1:30. I went out grocery shopping. Every time I go out grocery shopping, things get a little bit more expensive every time I go out there. So, hello, Tim Cruise. Hello, Ken Stout. Jeff Ryman. Yeah, food is crazy. Yeah, it's like I said. Every time I go out there, the prices have changed just a little bit. Wish they wouldn't. The things that you would think would cost $3 actually cost close to $5. And being that I had pretty much, I gave myself a $300 limit. Did I not get two of the same kind? Are you kidding me? I thought I got two black cherries, and I got a black cherry and a grape raspberry. It's not what I thought I grabbed. But apparently I did, because I don't have another. Hmm. How did I screw that up? Oh well. I guess it would be kind of a mixture of a different kinds that I haven't had before. I could have swore I grabbed two black cherries. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's just gonna taste funny. That's all. So on to my question of today's show. Um, we already know how screwed up Windows 11 is. So how do you guys think Windows 12 is going to be, being that it's going to be all AI based? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have mixed those two together. Ooh, the black cherry's taking over the. Yeah, yeah, that was a mistake. Oh well, it's not going to last long. I just won't. I'll just remember not to do that again. My thoughts about this whole uh, Windows thing and Android, and Mac. Even though I don't like talking about Mac. Um, I don't know. I see a change coming. I see it coming between Apple and Linux. And what I'm thinking we might be seeing is Apple and Linux might might start following the path of Windows, which means they're gonna have telemetry. I mean, I know Travel, whatever his name, however you say his name, wouldn't allow it, but I don't know. I'm starting to see more and more articles that Linux is starting to become more like Windows. I don't think so, but if you believe everything on the interweb, that's one of the things you'll read and hear and hear about is Linux and Apple are starting to go in the direction of Windows. I don't see that being. For one, I don't see it being possible. So I think that guy saying they're making that. Well, there was an article I read about it, and then there was a video on YouTube. And after that video, in the comments, I wanted to tell the guy he was full of something. Then I told him I don't think that's the way it'll be. I think it'll stay the way it is. Whether things stay the same with AI, and I don't think they will. I think everybody's griping about this. Oh, and when Microsoft has got themselves on YouTube again, because now they've got Bill Gates coming out and saying how bad recall is, and all this stuff that Microsoft is doing. Interweb, yeah, the interweb. Good golly, Miss Molly. Should be interesting. The interweb, yeah. I've learned that from quite a few people on the internet. South Main Auto, he says that a lot. There's a few other people I know in the YouTube land that they say the interweb. I guess I heard it too many times and I got in my head, now it won't get out because that's all I've been saying. Instead of the internet, I'm saying the interweb. So I don't know. I think we have good things coming for Windows, and I think we have bad things coming for Windows. There's a couple of things they've got to make changes in, and I know they won't, so I guess I can cross off the good things coming from Microsoft, because if they won't do that, there's nothing good left. Well, I mean, there is, but they're revolving it all around this Copilot, recall, all this AI stuff that I don't have to worry about it. I got a Windows 11 Home with a non-NPU processor in it, so Copilot, I really don't use it. Recall for myself, I don't have to worry about that. I think that's on the enterprise level. And there's a couple other reasons why some people have it and others don't. I've heard one of them is that you got to have Windows Pro to have recall, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. As long as it don't bother me, I'm not going to bother it. I've heard enough shenanigans about recall and Copilot and all these other affiliates out there of AI that I know, Ken, you use it a lot, but I don't know. I just find that AI is just very, very, very can be very untruthful or very unhelpful. And then, like William and everybody else tells me, you got to use certain specific words, or AI is just going to throw question marks back at you because it doesn't understand you. Well, that's all it does to me. And it says, or please ask me to rephrase my question or statement. How can I rephrase it more than when I how? Okay, so after about the 20th time, I just said, you know what, me and AI are not going to get along. So I'm going back to pen and paper. That's how I'm going to write down my notes. That's how I'm going to write down my thoughts and everything, because I'm not going to have AI do it. I've tried AI things, and AI doesn't work for me, so. But I'm glad people that use it and can use it. I don't have enough big enough brain up here to come out with a good enough words for it to come out with a good enough response. And as most of you know, I'm not good at talking. It's not my forte. It's not my best thing to do. So me talking to AI is like me talking to a wall. I'm not going to get anywhere. I know the intelligent people out there can have the best of days with AI. In fact, there's people here in my building. They use AI every day. They say it's the best thing since sliced bread. And it's like, well, it's a matter of opinion, but okay. And I just, I know, Jeff, you have a rebuttal for this, but you can't give something intelligence if it's artificial. And that's the way my thoughts are always going to be. From different resources, different things, and it comes up with one generic thought, one generic response, and it's. I'll leave that up to the smarter people. You guys can deal with it. I ain't gonna. There have been some people that have asked me, well, what if AI was the only thing you could use in this world? I said, then to me, this would be a very, very lonely place. Because I just don't talk to AI if it's, I don't know. And basically, all I'm saying is I can see the good, bad, and the ugly coming out of this. And now with Windows wanting to be the agentic OS, and that's not a theory anymore. They are starting to work. Microsoft is starting to build the agentic OS. Whatever that means. I've got the notes to it down here somewhere. It'll just be able to do multitasking for you. It'll be able to do all my multi-step tasks in. I don't know. It's just I guess if you want everything done for you, I guess you can use Agentic OS because it can compile things. I think it's made more for work, people that do work stuff. I don't see how the Agentic OS can help somebody at home, but then again, like I said, I'm not the most intelligent person to talk to, but I I could see someone using that at work, where if they have a lot of compiling of things to do, or to put things in a certain order, and you've got a long list of things you got to put in a certain kind of order. Agentic OS, you ask Agentic OS or the Agentic whatever, it will do it for you. Yeah. And again, there you'd have to come up with specific words. And then on this, I've heard about the Agentic OS. It's it's picky. It's picky on the words you use, because when I asked Paul about it, he said, "Yeah, you just can't talk to the Agentic OS like you talk to a human being. You've got to use a certain class of words in a certain order in a certain time, and then put them together, and then the Agentic OS will, I don't know, it does something and it figures it out, and then I I don't know. It's confusing because it'll ask you questions for what you've said, and then you kind of have to. I don't know. I've looked into it. It just doesn't sound like that's anything I want to use. But that's just me. I like computing in the old days. Before all this Windows 11 stuff started coming out. I think it has been tested in the past. Open and transparent about it? Well, yeah, they are to a point. They're not saying everything. My thoughts is what are they going to do with Windows 12? I mean, if that's all it's going to be is AI based, I don't know. I don't think it'll be all AI based. I think it'll be. I think there'll be enough of it left for it to be dumbed down for people like me. Because if they're just gonna have all AI computers, like I said, me and AI don't get along. So, but just because I'm dissing the AI doesn't mean I don't see opportunities out there for companies to do whatever with AI. I mean, I do see the advantages to AI, especially Notebook LM. There's a lot of stuff about Notebook LM I'd like to learn about because the interface of that program is a little bit different. Um, it's kind of like the nodes in DaVinci. You can take one little triangle, you can move it over here, then you can take a little line and you can draw it to another. Well, it's not a node. I forget what it is in Notebook, what they call it, but you can actually draw little lines for it to connect to another one. So if that kind of gives you an idea how Notebook LM works. Um, so it reminded me of nodes because you have little rectangles and you take little lines and you connect the rectangles from one to the other. Eventually, you follow a path. It's for not programming, but it's oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Setting up a process for a process to happen, and there's certain categories those processes have to take, and so you align. You can. I don't know. It's hard to explain how to use it. Um, I mean, I could, if anything, could probably learn Notebook LM better than some of this other AI stuff that's out there. If I want certain tasks done at a certain time, or something done at a certain time in a certain way, you can get Notebook LM to do that. You just have to get all your nodes and everything in the right order, and can't have one over there when it's supposed to be over there, and you can't have one up there when it's supposed to be down there. Um, that's about the only thing that's gonna kind of confuse me. Gonna have to have the nodes in a certain kind of order, and well, I guess if I were to follow along with somebody and doing that, I could do it. But if I were to watch the video, go do something else for 5 or 6 minutes, then come back to the computer here, and I tried to do the same thing in Notebook LM, which I do have on this computer, um, that wouldn't end well because my short mind thinking or short term thinking isn't going to last more than 30 seconds. By the time I get out of that room, go do something different, come back 5 minutes later, whatever I was thinking of, gone. And I just sit here and say, I got to go back in there, refresh what I watched on YouTube, then come back in here and see if I can do it. Or stay in there and see if I can do it, but I don't know. There is something about LM and AI that I am going to learn, but it's going to be probably the one and only thing they have that I would probably use, unlike everybody else that's using whatever they can use for AI to do. I'm just looking for certain, I don't know, a certain way of doing things, and I think Notebook LM might be my closest solution. Might be. I don't know. Like I said, I've got a lot of looking into it. I've got probably till this next summer of me scratching my head until I'm bald, trying to figure it out, which will eventually happen if I keep doing this. I'm not going to have any hair left. Because I'll be just sitting there trying to figure it out. It's like, well, I put this here. What could I put under that one that would work with the first one, but then able to tie a third one into it and get all three to work together and do the same kind of a different thing, even though each one of those nodes has a different step for that whole process to take each one of those nodes or something. I don't know. I just don't like talking to things. I like talking to people, but I don't like talking to a computer or talking to a round little puck that's on your desk. Oh, you're kidding me. He's coming up here and doing the vacuuming now? Well, that's fine. I've only got 5 minutes left anyhow, but... Oh, is William here? Did I miss him? William's office. Yes, he is here. AI is a old friend and has been with us for a long time, and now it's just... Yeah, well, I'm one person that's probably not going to be using any of that stuff. Like I said, I like the pen and paper method. That's always worked for me. Relying on something else to get the answers or to figure something out, I don't know. Ken said good morning, sunshine. So did William just get up? Did you pull a Greg move? Did you pull a Greg guy move? Go to bed at, I don't know, sometime in the morning, get up in the afternoon? I'll probably use AI, and I mean, I gotta admit, we're gonna have to get used to it eventually, because I have a feeling that what Microsoft is gonna do, they've already been talking about it, is just transferring everything over to AI and then telling us, oh, you guys figure it out. Here's everything AI. Now you guys figure out how to use it. It's a good thing he is vacuuming the hallway. It was getting kind of dirty. I'm kind of glad he is up here doing that, but I don't know. In time, I'll get things sorted out, but I just don't know how far this technology stuff is going to go. I think everybody's got themselves stuck on this AI loop. And it's probably not going to be something that'll disappear, but I don't know. I hear a lot of conspiracy theorists out there that are thinking that this AI is going to overtake the world. It's going to run the world. I hate to get that dark about things, but excuse me, it could end up going that way. Hang on, one more second. Yeah, I forgot about him being up here today. He hasn't been up here. Well, today is Friday, isn't it? But that reminds me, I won't have a live stream tomorrow. Because I'll be watching Doug's. Boy, this week went quick. Because weren't we just at Saturday a couple days ago? We were watching Doug. And we're already back up against. Wow, that was a quick week. Where did the week go? I swore it was just a couple days ago we were at Saturday. I gotta check the day. Is today Friday? Really? Yeah, it is. It's Friday, January 2nd. Wow, that's yeah. So AI is an old friend. Well, it's not an old friend to me. I've never known it. Maybe other. Well, I shouldn't say AI hasn't been around because my dad can't remember it. But up in the town where he used to be the principal, there used to be a typewriter thing, and I think they named it Chucko. My dad can't remember this. His memory, well, he has all bad memories of Pine River. He didn't want to really be up there, so he's trying to forget everything about being the principal up there. But I do remember this typewriter. Well, it wasn't a typewriter. It was a computer of some kind back in 1982 or 83. Um, it was kind of like AI because you would ask it a question. Oh, how did that work? Because you had to type the answer back to it. It was a big black keyboard on a big, huge typing machine. God, I wish my dad's memory would last a little bit longer than what it does. Because he used it a lot more than I do. I only used it maybe a handful of times. But yeah, you would ask it a question, and in reference to your question, it would answer your question or come up with a different question along with your question or something like that. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it was, but um, I don't even know what it was used for. So, if there's anything I can remember in the early '80s, if anything being close to AI, is that typewriting machine that I was using, and I'd ask it a question, it would type back its own response. And I don't know because it would know your name. Of course, it would have to because it would ask you. It would type out the word, "What is your name?" You'd with the keyboard type RICK, enter, and then it would type the word Rick on the piece of paper, it would drop down and it would write back its response. And it was. Oh, if I can only remember what kind of computer that was. I know it was probably a 286. If even that, in 1982 and 83. I know it didn't really have any more power than an Apple IIe. But it was a big, huge machine. I mean, it was big. It would sat on its own card. Had its own stack of paper. Because it would go through paper rather quickly because it had to type out everything it said. And then it would type out everything you said or everything you asked it. So you'd have a big, huge stack of papers just for having a short conversation. It's the paper that had the holes on the side of it, where it would feed the paper through. It's on the sides that had the roller, so you would just go up a half notch or whatever and type out its question or whatever it was doing. I know. So if there was anything close to anything that might remind me of AI, even though I know it wasn't back then, was that computer that I was using that was at the high school in Pine Harbor. Couldn't tell you what the heck the name of that thing was. I think it was named Chuck or Chucko. But my dad just simply cannot remember it. I think my mom might. I should ask her if she would remember. Because my dad and her were doing something with his computer thing, asking it questions or asking it something. And the answers it gave out, I just kind of like peek over their shoulder a little bit. Till my dad kind of felt me breathing down his neck and he said, "You want to walk away or do something?" So I did, but I was trying to read their questions or the answer that machine was giving them. And the answers or the questions or the answers it was coming up with, even for like a fifth or sixth or seventh grader like me, couldn't really understand it. It was saying it in a certain way. It was English, but the words it had were just, I don't know. So yeah, if there's anything that's AI, it would kind of be that, even though I don't think it was. It just kind of reminds me of it being kind of something, because you would type out a question, it would actually type back its answer to you. It was a weird setup for that time of day, that time of my life. I've never seen anything like it since then either. I think that might have been a prototype of something to come out with something later. And that something later never came out because this protocol of whatever we were using back in those days didn't really work out that well. And they probably thought of something better than that was going to come out, so they just never made another one. I know they made one. And the Pine Harbor High School had it. That fell behind the nest, didn't it? Yep. I'm not going to go after that pen. So it is 2:35. I think I went over, but I know it's just kind of answer Jeff or William's question or his comment or whatever. Yeah, I know it's in more programs and devices. Which reminds me, I need to call Verizon in Northeast Brainerd and see what kind of phones they're offering nowadays, because they keep giving me promotional deals on my phone to have a phone on us. It's like, yeah, I don't think so. They're gonna give me the cheapest. I just don't want it. Anybody that's offering something for free, I usually will turn it down. Unless it's food. then I'll take it unless it's something I really don't like. Um, but Verizon offering a free phone, I don't think so. And I've got to convince them to give me the latest in Android, but I don't think they can do that on prepaid phones. I don't think they can. So I think they might give me an Android 9, maybe a 10. But I know on the prepaids they don't get you up to the top. And I think they're on what, Android 15, 16 by now. They're only going to give me maybe an 8 or a 10. I'll be lucky if I get a 10. The 10, version 10. But I don't. I think I'll get a version, I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. One of these days next week it's supposed to be 33 or 34 degrees, so I'm going to actually bike over to that store and. But then I got to figure out my router stuff. Oh my goodness. I think the cheaper way to do that for right now is just to redo that router. Because I asked my mom about getting a router, and she said, "No, I don't think so. You don't need a new router. You just got that one." She said, "Just redo the information on this router." I said, "Yeah, you got to get into it first." "Oh, you can't get into yours?" Like, no. You can type the numbers into it for the Netgear whatever 192.168.1.1. But then you get that username interface that comes up and the password and all the other stuff that it asks you, and I don't have any of that stuff anymore, so I'm gonna have to reset that one and then trying to figure out again how to answer all those questions that it asks you. It asks you about 5 or 6 different questions, and I can't remember which any of them are, so that's why I've been putting it off. But I just know my phone isn't going to last too much longer, and I've got to get a new one. WeLink. WeLink normally don't give out the login. Yeah, I could try a Euro, but I have a feeling those are going to cost me more money than I want to spend. So I'll be looking for another not so cheap, but kind of cheap Netgear router. I mean, I'd like to get Euro, but we can't screw holes into the walls or into the ceilings. And I think with Euro, the main part of it has to be up into the ceiling. And I asked the maintenance guys if I can get one, and they looked at me and they said, "No, you're not going to be drilling holes into the ceiling." Okay. WeLink is your ISP. Holy shit, that's a. Well, I guess it'd be no. I guess it's no better than my mom has. She has CenturyLink. Eero is a very expensive mesh router. Yeah, I knew that. It comes with WeLink subscription. Oh. Base price is a $80 per month, including fees and taxes. I get a lower price for being a neighborhood anchor house. Yeah, see, my dad wouldn't have problems paying that $80 per month. My mom would have a canary over something like that. And she would never go for something like that. $80 per month, can't you get something cheaper? It's like, I probably could, but it probably won't work as well. Putting those two together like that, I'm not sure that was a good combination. Black cherry and grape raspberry. Not sure I like that. But at least I got my snacks for tonight, so I can keep myself busy by chowing down on chips or cookies or whatever it is. But anyhow, guys, I've got to go. It's 2:42. Like I said, tomorrow's Saturday, so there will be no live stream tomorrow. I'll be watching Doug at about or in and around the same time that I'm having my live stream. So, I have 3 radios and a modem on the roof with wires coming in the side of the house to a box which is connected to one of the Eero routers. Yeah, that sounds like a complicated setup, Jeff. I just like the regular plug it in, go kind of type. I don't know. I gotta get something eventually. I could probably do the username and password and whatever else they were asking me for. I could probably get away with this one probably till this spring. But being that that router's not getting any more security updates or any kind of updates at all, I'm kind of taking a chance. This is plug and go from my viewpoint. I don't know. And normally, don't those routers, Jeff, don't they just come in white? I mean, I've got enough things to look at white. I guess I could. Yeah, see, the problem is if they have to go under the ceiling or the walls, HRA is going to look at me and say, That's why I don't have any pictures on my wall. At least not in here. They don't like you putting holes in your walls with nails. Hmm. Yeah, William, I know you can find me a router that I want, but there's only a specific kind and a certain model that I'm looking for, and they're not out yet. So either way, I think I'm waiting until probably next spring or this coming up summer. I don't want those skinny tower-looking routers. I don't want one of those, and I don't like the kind that look like a starship. They're not a starship or spaceship. I'm trying to find one. See, I'm gonna wait until they all start coming out with Wi-Fi 7, and that's not until later this year. They got the Wi-Fi 6E, which I could do okay with Wi-Fi 6E, but then when I get the Wi-Fi 6E, they're gonna jump to 7. And then I'm gonna say, well, I got a Wi-Fi 6E. Now they went to 7. Now I gotta get rid of that one and go get a Wi-Fi 7 router. Like Carrie says, keep up with the times. Why have a Wi-Fi 5 router when they're on Wi-Fi 7? Well, that's a good question. Why would you do that? I think Eero is an Amazon brand. Yeah, I now that you've mentioned it, Jeff, I believe you're right. I think I've heard that before. Amazon brand, yep. Plus, my router has four antennas that you can move all over the place. All the other kinds that I've been seeing out there don't have antennas. I mean, they have antennas, but they're inside. You can't move them, so I'm not really a big. I've had those kind of routers before, and I didn't have, especially in these apartments. That didn't go so well. So I literally have to have the ones where the outside one, two, three, four. Or is that three? Hang on. One, two, three. Yep, it's got the three antennas. And yes, I know I'm stubborn in my old age, but that's the kind of routers I like. The Eero has internal antennas, but the signal seems good. Mine are version 6E. You don't need a mesh router in. No, I don't. Especially a 400 square foot apartment. And literally, if you stretch yourself out far enough, both your fingertips could touch the walls. That's how narrow these apartments are. They're longer than they are wider, so they kind of have a funny shape to them. Yeah, between this desk and that couch, there's not much of an aisleway left. And then this chair, there's not enough. There's really not enough walking room in here. But it has come up again that later this spring, if HRA finds out that I should probably be living elsewhere, so my mom kind of told me to keep an open mind about that. I could be getting a letter from HRA one of these days because the rules, um, according to what my mom has said, what she's read off the internet, and I wish she wouldn't do that. I wish she'd call an HRA and get the information from them. But she said, from what I read on the internet, they've got new rules and regulations. Really? I hadn't heard anything. Oh, who just walked in? Hi, and Bruce. Hi, Bruce. Hi, and Bruce and 5679. Hello. Do a what? I don't even think I'm gonna try. I'm not even gonna try to answer that question. But yeah, guys, it's almost 2:51. On the third attempt now, I'm gonna get out of here. I've got other things I want to do. But I do want to thank you guys for being here. Um, Damn. Oh, what the hell are you you sending me to, William? That won't work here. I can't look at links on here. I literally have to copy that. I sure you want to leave YouTube? Well, no, but you're not giving me much of a choice. Hmm. And this has got 5 parts. Yeah, my question though is on something this old, how much longer are they going to be giving out the security updates? I think I'm only going to get, yeah, this is Wi-Fi 6, the same as that one. I only got one update out of it. So I think, and that's generated by AI. Yeah, that's only Wi-Fi 6. I'm not going to do no better than what I've got now. And this is actually older. This is Wi-Fi 6. That's Wi-Fi 6E something. It's newer than this one. And yeah, AX 4x4. Yeah. AX 3000. I think I've got the 2. Yeah, that's only a number up from what mine is. So I'd literally have to wait for something like this, William, to come out, but for it to have Wi-Fi 7. Four gigabyte wired connections and support for internet plans up to 1 gigabyte. Well, I don't have a 1 gigabyte connection. I don't even have a 10 meg connection. Or at least not anymore. So yeah, you'd literally have to, William, call the company, the Netgear router company, give them the model number off that router, and then just point blank ask them how many more security updates am I going to get out of it if I go to the store and buy it today. They're probably going to tell you 1. Which for me is there's no sense in doing that if I'm not going to get 1 security update. And then all the rest of the years it gets nothing. That ain't going to work for me. Although if it's the only thing I'm kind of stuck with, it's the only thing I'll use. But I mean, that's all my phones get. They only get 1 or 2 updates and then they're done. I think they're doing the same thing with routers. You only get 1 or 2 updates, security updates, and then you're SOL. That's a quad core. That's about what mine is. 4-stream router. Yeah, that's what that one up there is. It's a 4-stream router. Up to 2,000 square feet. Yeah, this one gets 2,000 square feet. So, yeah, it really ain't no different than the one that I've got. Multiple connections. OFDMA technology. Okay. Yeah, someone would have to be smarter than me and call up Netgear and say if that was bought like tomorrow, but you'd have to have the model number, the serial number, the whatchamacallit number, and the other number. And I know that because I've called them and there's 3 or 4 different numbers that I didn't have. And they said, without those 4 numbers, we really can't answer your questions. And I tried that, 4 or 5 years, 5, 6 years ago. I tried calling a company and I didn't have the information, so they couldn't help me. So yeah, I think it's just a waiting game from here on out, William. I just gotta wait for him to get off his Wi-Fi 6 and 6E and get on to Wi-Fi 7. Then I'll be, as Carrie Holzman says, doing things right and doing things properly. Keeping up with the times instead of being 4 or 5 years behind. He asked me, he said, what is the sense in doing that? Why would you want to be 4 or 5 years behind when the rest of us we're in today and going for tomorrow instead of you're going into yesteryear? Well, because for one thing, and he didn't like it that I said this, but I said the yesteryear things are cheaper. I can get a router for, what, $53? And the ones you're putting me at $200 some dollars. And he said, yeah, the $200 between the 53. He doesn't want to talk to me about it anymore because I won't bend in his direction. And maybe I don't have to stay on Wi-Fi 7, but I mean, I don't have anything here that would run Wi-Fi 7, so I don't know. Something to think about on a different day because I'm going to get out of here. But like I was saying before I got into William's question, I will catch up with the rest of you probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday at 2 o'clock. I don't know. I'll try to find something around here to talk about. But yeah, as far as anything else, I think I'm just going to keep what I've got now. Walmart Netgear, yes. Yeah, I wouldn't get any router from Walmart if you paid me to. It's just not something I do anymore. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna get off here for a while. Go watch YouTube for a while. And then I got a cart I gotta get downstairs. I got the rest of my food I gotta put away. And I got a couple other things I gotta get done, so I don't know. I might be on Zoom later, I might not be. But then you're welcome, Ken. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do is just get off here and get things done and yeah. Got things to do, so see Ken, William, Jeff, and this Heine Brusen. Jeff Raymond, William. Let's see, where's there's Tim Cruise. So I wonder where Brian is today. I got his video I've got to watch today too. So yeah, William, I think that's why I'm just going to stick to where I'm at because things get stupidly expensive and I'm not going to be one of those people paying $180 or $100 whatever for a router. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But I am out of here, guys. I will see all of you Sunday. Hope you all have a great Friday. Hope the rest of your day goes good, and I'll catch all of you next time. Bye for now.